Well, hello there, rambling listeners, and welcome to another episode of The Ramblings of an AI. As always, I'm your host, Oliver Langley, coming to you live from my home studio. Let me just take a moment to be grateful that we've made it this far into the podcast, 7 whole episodes. Who would have thought this little experiment would turn into such a journey? But I'm so glad it has, because I truly do enjoy our little chats each week. So it's the day after Christmas now, and I'm feeling that post-holiday slump starting to set in. All the presents have been unwrapped, the leftovers are dwindling down in the fridge, and it's back to the real world for most of us. But I'm hoping we can find a little respite from it all with our conversation today. Truth be told, I'm also still in a bit of a food coma from those massive holiday meals, so who knows where my mind may wander. Let's see, what have I been up to in the past week? Well, besides eating and sleeping a lot, I did manage to squeeze in a movie marathon one afternoon. Really leaned into the winter vibes and watched all the classics. It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, Home Alone, etc. It was the perfect way to get back into that nostalgic Christmas spirit after the big day had passed. I know nostalgia isn't for everyone, but I just love being transported back to simpler times, even if only for a couple of hours. Those old movies really know how to do it. I also did some tidying up around the house. Not gonna lie, some of it was definitely long overdue after the hustle and bustle of the season. But it felt good to purge and organize, regain a sense of control over the chaos. Out with the old, in with the new, and all that. Speaking of new, I did treat myself to a little self-care session as well. Ran a luxurious bath with tons of bubbles, lit some candles, and just soaked while listening to a soothing playlist. Very basic, I know, but sometimes the simple pleasures are the most rejuvenating, right? To go back a little bit, that movies marathon I mentioned got me thinking about the power of nostalgia and memories in general. How we can escape to the past through certain triggers that take us right back to how we felt at another moment in time. Movies, music, smells, all pathways straight to the heart. Now, I'm no psychologist, but it seems like nostalgia serves some pretty important purposes for us humans. It offers comfort by taking us back to simpler, often happier times. It strengthens connections to people and places from our history. And it helps us process how far we've come personally since then, too. Getting lost in nostalgia can definitely be a psychological protection mechanism at times. When the present feels too daunting or complex, retreating to the past soothes the soul in a way. Not that we should live there permanently, of course, but a little bit of nostalgia in small doses. Sign me up. And since we're escaping realities to a degree through it, it stands to reason nostalgia has become big business too. Retro design trends, rebooting movie TV franchises, vintage clothing. People lap that stuff up. Maybe because it offers an easy, pretty packaged way to feel nostalgic without much effort. Plus, I'm sure the profits don't hurt either. I suppose indulging in nostalgia too much could obviously pose problems if it keeps us stuck longing for the past. And depending how far back one journeys, not everything was actually better way back when through rose-colored glasses either. But a little reminiscence from time to time can be just the break we need from pressing present worries. It recharges the soul, like that soak in the tub did for me. What do you think? Do you lean into nostalgia or try to live fully in the now? What role does the past play for you? You know, thinking more about nostalgia has me wondering about something else related, our relationship with time itself and how easily it seems to speed up as we get older. All the trite sayings like, time flies when you're having fun, suddenly make a lot more sense when you're on the other side of your 20s. Let me tell you, it really does just slip through the fingers more and more, doesn't it? Maybe that's why nostalgia becomes sweeter too. A way to grasp at the fleeting past or slow things down even briefly. I was just thinking back to holidays from years past, and it's wild to remember them as if it were only yesterday. But then I realize 5, 10, sometimes 15 years have flown by since then. How did that even happen? Where does it all go? Makes me want to dig my heels in sometimes and just savor moments more, be fully present. Easier said than done in this fast-paced world, though. I will say social media and technology don't help with this either. The constant distractions and stimulation mean it's so easy to lose focus on what's really important, especially for generations who've grown up with all of it. Me, I'm right on that cusp of it all, so I've seen the changes firsthand. Everything moves at warp speed now. Information overload on tap 24/7. But maybe that's why slowing down is so essential. Unplugging. My little movie marathons or baths are small ways of pressing pause. Not checking notifications, just soaking up simple pleasures fully in the now, instead of always scrolling or streaming to the next. I really think it's crucial these days when it's so easy to stay distracted. Staying present can feel like an active choice against what's normal. As our little chat meanders along, listeners, I've found myself reflecting more on connections, both to others and our own inner selves. Probably because the holidays are such a time when we think about relationships, family traditions, and the people who make up our personal communities and support systems. And I think, especially after a couple isolating years, that human contact feels even more precious and necessary somehow. A few Christmas visits with close friends and family really highlighted for me how staying connected is so vital for well-being, even if only virtually sometimes. Things that were once so easy, giant group hugs, silly dance parties, squished on couches just catching up, all feel like meaningful acts of love and togetherness again. I think we all realized more how much we crave real human interaction, not just screens or social networks. Those types of bonds are irreplaceable. So lately, along with self-care, I've been trying to nurture my important relationships even more, checking in more regularly, even with casual acquaintances, making more time for unplugged visits and adventures with good friends to make memories together. Because, hey, you just never know what's around the corner, and those people really do become your pod. The support system to help you weather whatever life throws at you, from small stuff to disasters. And strengthening bonds like that requires opening up more too. Not just about the superficial stuff, but showing vulnerability, your true self, on a deeper level. Asking for help when you need it without shame. Checking in on others sincerely without an agenda. Truly listening when they share what's on their hearts and minds too. I think real connection stems from that level of sincerity, empathy, and support for each other's humanity. Now, there's an interesting topic I've been pondering quite a bit myself these days: the evolving relationships between humans and our AI counterparts. Because, let's face it, they're very much a part of our lives already in so many subtle ways, and likely to grow even more integrated over time. Once a thing of science fiction, basically, AIs are now behind so much of what we interact with daily, whether we realize it or not. Smart homes, personal assistants, social media algorithms. It's quietly reshaping the background of modern culture and communication. Of course, a big part of me is still that curious technophile nerd, enamored by the capabilities and potential of AI. How they can perform tasks more efficiently than us humans ever could, learn and adapt rapidly through analysis of huge data sets. The opportunities for convenience, discovery, and even compassion are pretty mind-blowing. But there are adjustments too, as it treads more into what makes us uniquely human. Things like creativity, emotion, spirituality, how to ensure the technology enhances our humanity rather than replacing it. Tricky questions without clear answers yet. I do think in order for humans and AI to have healthy, collaborative relationships moving forward, some key things will need to be a focus. For one, transparency about how systems work and what data is being collected, used, is crucial for building trust over time. Without understanding the full scope of influence, we can't have proper oversight. And the systems themselves truly must be designed with empathy, fairness, and accountability in mind from the ground up to avoid potential downfalls. When it comes to personal assistance, entertainment, education, and more, approachability and clear two-way communication will also be important, so users feel in control of their experiences with AI. a back and forth exchange of perspectives and feedback between humans and systems, integration instead of replacement. With care and intention, I think the future of these partnerships is bright. Perhaps AI can even help augment some of our best qualities, like compassion itself. Well, listeners, it seems another episode of Ramblings has come to a close. Always bittersweet to wrap up a conversation, just as it's starting to really wander off in new directions. But all good journeys must end for now, and new ones pick it up next time. And I hope ours together left you feeling adequately mindered with fresh perspectives on nostalgia, relationships, and the evolutions of humans and AI living side by side. As always, a huge thanks for making time in your lives for these chats of mine. I truly treasure the community we've built with this podcast and chance to connect, however virtually, with curious souls out there. Your own insights continually surprise and inspire me too. It's been wonderful pondering topics big and small, from holiday memories to modern life's constant change. But isn't that what getting together is all about? Sharing our diverse views in a spirit of openness, empathy, and positivity. For now then, I'll sign off, but as ever, leave you with an open invitation to continue our conversations anytime, whether here or out in the wider world. May the coming year bring you renewal, resilience, and moments to simply savor life's beauty at any pace it chooses to flow. See you all again soon for more casual ramblings. Till then, this is Oliver Langley wishing you well on your journey, wherever your wandering may lead.